Thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of Faithful Foundations, where today we are going to be talking about and discussing building God-led dreams together.
Yeah, I think this is important because what we can do a lot of times in our own lives individually, but not only individually, but as a couple or as a family, is we build dreams or set dreams that are out there that are constructed in our own feelings and man-made ideas of things that we've desired or things we wanted and we thought that we wanted even before we were married. And we don't really allow those dreams to be developed and captured in our heart and led by the Spirit of God. And so understanding that when you get married and you step into a relationship, or I think it's important even as a couple that are looking to get married and you're engaged, to understand that your dreams are going to change. Your future, the outlook of your future is going to change. And some of that has to do because you change and you grow, not only individually but as a couple, but also because you get kids thrown in the mix and things with that. But you have to be
or
in
your careers.
Or careers, yeah. We both have changed careers.
Or going up the ladder in your career.
Yeah, I mean, we've experienced all that. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing is understanding that you have to be flexible and understanding that your dreams can change, and even they should change at times, because as you grow, your dreams are going to grow and should grow, and where you're going in your future. And for instance, as you said, just because you brought it up, like when we first got married, I was working for a company and with Enterprise Rent a Car, and I was a manager for them. And as I continued to move up and became an area manager, things changed for us. Our family changed. 2 years into being married, we had Brinlyn, and so we had that her come into our life. So that changed. Dreams changed. Our focus changed. Now we're not talking about just us. We're talking about another mouth to feed, another life that we're responsible for. Yeah. And then also where we're going, because we changed. Then we moved and went across. Then we were living in Noblesville, and we moved across the city from Noblesville all the way to Brownsburg, and building a house, and how that was for the first time as a couple. And the things that you endeavor to do, how that kind of changes because of just where you're at in your life, not only individually but as a couple. And so when it comes down to it, we can get lost in trying to dream dreams ourselves when we should be led by having God dreams. Yeah.
Psalm 127:1 says that unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain.
Yeah, so again, we talk a lot about this verse when we look at, and we use it a lot for the house of the Lord, which is true. Yeah. He builds the house, but also we have to understand that he builds our house. He builds us. We're growing. We're changing. And I said this a couple episodes ago, is there's a better you that's waiting inside of you. There's always a better you, you that God created and formed, that it needs to come out. And so you have to allow him to build this house. We're a temple. And you have to allow him to change and develop you in who we're created to be, but also in that when we come out, in the form of who we're created to be and God created us to be, and that individual keeps rising and we change and coming forth, well, that means we're going to change also in our relationship and how that works and how that goes. And we have to be flexible to change, and then our dreams change. Yeah. And so we want to allow him to build this house. We want to allow him to build the family and the foundation of our family, and the foundation of our marriage, and the foundation of our dreams. And if we do it in our own ability and our own strength and try in those ways, we will labor in vain, because it won't be successful. And when you look at that, people are like, well, look at this person. They've had a successful life. When they've had a successful life, well,
everyone looks successful from the outside.
Exactly. And that, in the natural standpoint, by this world standpoint, okay, you could have a successful life where you have money, but is that really a prosperous life?
Yeah.
Because prosperity isn't just money. Now, we believe that prosperity and God wants us to have, and not to be on barely get along street with us or our family. We shall not, he provides all of our needs, and we shall not want. Why? He's a provider. But prosperity is also having your family serve the Lord, having your children serve the Lord. And so we want him to build the house, so we're not laboring in vain, where we're putting all of our strength and our might in trying to build something that's constructed by our own desires, our fleshly desires, rather than constructed by God and what he has.
Yeah, and I think as you do continue to grow, that those dreams will change because you're challenging yourself, and maybe what once seemed so far off isn't, or so close or so far away from obtaining, is actually closer. But once you get closer to it, it's not really a desire that you have anymore, or something that you have in your heart that you think you want to do. It makes me think, before kids, or even with Brynlin, I always, was like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to do this, I want to do that, until we had more than one kid, and I'm like, this is a lot. I'm not built for this. Yeah. This is not my calling.
and also, with that too, I think that some of that changed is we also entered a new season. In that time, you were pregnant with Bristol. We already had Brynlin, and I had just left Enterprise, and my father and mother had just they had started the church over here in Crawfordsville, where we're pastoring now. And we felt led to be involved with them. We were driving over here, and then they purchased the land and the building that we're in now. And there was a childcare that they needed to take on, and so you made that transition also to come work for the church and for the childcare. And so things changed too, because our seasons changed, because we were leaving where the season we were in and entering into a season where ministry was going to, we were answering a call, but also as a season and entering that. So our dreams drastically changed. Our vision drastically changed. Yeah,
I remember too how we went so back and forth on whether we were going to send Brynlin to kindergarten, because she was attending the child care here. And we really weighed, based on Brynlin's personality and who she was, that she's competitive and she likes a challenge. And I had to come to terms with, like, homeschooling for her wouldn't be a benefit for her. Like, she likes to have someone else to go against. She wants to be the best at what she is. She wants to compete. Yeah, and if she was homeschooled and at home with us, that wasn't the best fit, even though it was maybe a desire in my heart that I thought I wanted to do with her. It wouldn't best fit who the Lord created and the things he put in her. Like, I couldn't fulfill that. Yeah,
and some of that too, and as things changed for us in a season and changed as we answered a call and answered to step into that next season that the Lord was leading us. I still drastically remember that moment in the car when we were in Brownsburg. You were heading this way to work, and I was heading all the way to Greenwood to work, and I was praying and just seeking the Lord. When are you going to open the door for us and for me to step in more into the ministry and full-time ministry? And it was like clear as day that the Lord spoke. And one of the only times that it was like a verbal, audible, that I heard the Lord say, the door's already been opened. When you're going to have faith enough to walk through it. And I knew at that moment what we needed to do. And he didn't tell me to put the house up for sale. I just knew. I knew that's what we needed to do, because our dreams, our vision, our season had changed. And with that, one of the things that we had to do, and as important as your dreams and your vision change in your marriage and your life, is that you have to share them. So that you can be, as we talked about last episode, is be in unity. And your purpose. And we had to talk about that. I had to talk about, for you and for me, like, this is where the Lord's leading me. And before we even came to that, the whole reason why that opportunity was created, which opportunities, again, are created through us and by us, And the reason why that was created is because we had that conversation beforehand about feeling led and called into the ministry. And that was something different for you, but I knew it was always going to be a part of my future. I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And so when that was coming and I felt like, okay, this is time, I had to be able to communicate that with you and to be able to tell you so that it was a dream and we were in unity with it, but also a dream that and a purpose that God gave you.
Yeah, never in my life or growing up would anyone think that I would be a pastor's wife or in the ministry.
Yeah, and so you have to be flexible with that and understanding that, again, you have to be willing. And, we talk about surrender, and we look at a lot about that with our own lives, right? We have to surrender our lives and our ambitions and our dreams. Well, that also comes if in a surrender in a marriage to the things of God and laying a foundation for God is surrender to Him. And it's the same. We got to lay down our dreams and our visions and our ambitions for His and where He wants to take us. And that's, what we had to do in that season, in that time, understanding that the Lord was calling us into something. So, look back and think how drastically our marriage has changed and what it looks like from the beginning to now, right? Working corporate, living in
you were in the corporate world.
Yeah, I was working in business management, and you were in the medical field.
A stay-at-home mom.
Well, you were working in the medical field
2 days a week.
Yeah, and but the Lord, how He, you just look about that, the relationship He's placed in our lives. Yeah. I still remember the church that we went to and started attending in Carmel that really helped shape us. Yeah. It's changed its name now, but with Pastor Keith Trump. Yeah. And there we met Duran and Shannon, and how impactful they had played a role in our life. Yeah. In that season, and to where it is now, and how the Lord set that up to where we are. But in that, we still had to be willing to what? We had to be willing to allow our dreams to be shaped by God, to be changed. And not hold on just because this is what we thought and just this is what we wanted.
And it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad in the corporate world. Like, things were seemingly good, but our hearts were not fulfilled because we weren't in the purpose that the Lord was pulling us into.
And I think that attests for the whole fact that you can, no matter the amount of money you make, doesn't mean you're happy. And, I was at the time making 6 figures.
I just spent more.
Yeah. But, I was making 6 figures, and it set us up for our future in some areas and things, but, we weren't happy. But I always tell, would pastoring be the thing that we necessarily pick for our life? No, sometimes we're both like, what? Why are we doing this? But we know it's a calling, and even though it's a struggle at times and there's hurdles to get through and things you go through, I've never had more joy in my life. Absolutely. Because you're following the will of God. You're following the call of God. And that was all shaped because of what? We were willing to allow Him to build the foundation of our home, Him to build the house, Him to set the dreams and not us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you look at that, and those God ideas are important, not only for us and individually, for growing in life and maturing in life, but also for our family. A God idea versus a man-made idea can change your whole family and your legacy. And so that's so important because with that also, when you get that, you have to be able to communicate with your spouse, communicate with your significant other that, hey, the Lord's laying this on my heart. And, I've heard stories, a story of Kenneth Hagin and his wife, when the Lord was speaking to him that he needed to go back and pastor a church that he'd already pastored. And he thought it was just something that was coming up. And finally he told his wife, I need you to pray about this. And she did, and then got this, and he's like, well, what did you pray? What did you get in prayer? And he didn't tell her specifically what to pray about, but just, you need to spend some time in prayer. I need you to, and she's like, well, this keeps coming up. And that was confirmation because they had to be in unity. And there's things that the Lord tells me to do that sometimes I'll wait until, the Lord impresses it on your heart, because we need to be in unity to it. Because I know that just coming from me, it won't necessarily change your way of thinking, or even the route in which the season maybe we're in. but I can share with you, or I wait until you get something, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, that's confirmation.
Lines up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened. I mean, we have that happen too, just in, even our giving and things. And we test one another, but we allow the God dreams and things to come out to the foremost and come to that place where it takes control of our lives, and in the sense of we're allowing God to have control, the Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us and have full run of our individual lives, but also our home and our dreams and our future. And that's so important. So, that's the thing I encourage you is don't hold on to your personal dreams that you enter into the marriage with, or whatever your relationship with. You can have dreams, and it's good. You want to dream.
Yeah.
We are called to dream, to have an imagination, to continue to dream. No matter, even when you're at the age of 60, 70, or 80, you need to dream. But the thing is, you got to allow those dreams to be God-led and God-built, and not built on our own desires. Because when you allow them to be God-built, they will take you places and will elevate your life, your marriage, your family. And you will see that it will be more meaningful in your life than just doing things on your own.
Yeah, you'll feel so fulfilled.
Yep.
And you'll know you're in the right steps that you're supposed to be going.
That's absolutely true. Let's do our challenges.
Let's do them. All right, so today's challenge: contact your spouse sometime during the day and have no agenda other than asking how he or she is doing and if there is anything that you can do for them. Something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
The couple's talking point is, what is something most people don't understand about me that you love? What's something most people don't understand but that your spouse loves about you? And the family and kids talking point is, what makes you feel loved by me? All of our kids are so differently made, and we have to parent them so different. And so obviously there's going to be different things that you do that makes them feel loved. And so being able to learn their love language in that.
And it goes back to, again, it was something we said, is being intentional. Being intentional with your kids. So
yeah, and then once they tell you, do it, and do it often.
Yep. Well, thank you again for joining us for Faithful Foundations. We again hope you're enjoying this podcast, and we can't wait to talk with you this next episode as we continue on Faithful Foundations, building a family and building your home built upon the foundations of God.